We'll start with this news. Our leader, esteemed leader, Shri Narendra Modi, may be attending the FIFA finals on July 14th in Brazil. Well, he's not really interested in football, but I'm told he wants to enter USA through the traditional route, which is via New Mexico without a visa. It's called the week that wasn't. Let's start with politics. The new Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, told reporters this week that 265 projects worth about 75,000 crores were stuck due to red tape. So, when asked which project he would like to roll out first, he allegedly answered, lunch. Please. Pintu Sharma, I'll repeat his name. Pintu Sharma was on Thursday last arrested on rape charges. Now, Pintu Sharma had been Shah Rukh Khan's driver for the last 7 years. Shah Rukh Khan, of course, was shocked at the news, but was even more shocked to learn that he had actually employed a man with a name like Pintu. Now, here's a list of names that need to be immediately banned. Starting with Pintu, then there's ANAL, there's Tidda, Pinda, Mintu, Jinda, Bablu, Chichi, and CC, as we say in Egypt. Sir John Sawers, head of Britain's Foreign Intelligence Service, MI6, is to step down. But now here's the problem with this news. If you're the head of the world's leading spy network, shouldn't no one know who you are? I can't understand. Before we start the show, I have great news for you, ladies and gentlemen. As we complete 400 shows of the week that wasn't, our show now goes international. Yes, the week that wasn't will now be broadcast in foreign countries. And to start with, let's have a look at some snippets that we have specially created for our global audiences. Starting with Egypt. What I meant was headlines, and lots more coming up, but first the headlines. Egypt court sentences Al Jazeera journalist. Dr. Harshvardhan faces flack for saying sex education should be banned. And of course, our weekly roundup of the FIFA World Cup with FIFA. Yep, our top story. Now, before we get to the Egypt story, which is all about fiction and government, an unheard of development that shook India. We actually started discussing sex. I make it into 2 words. Sex. Dr. Harshvardhan faces flack for saying sex education should be banned. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan stirred up a hornet's nest last week when he said that sex education should be banned in schools. I don't agree with Dr. Harshvardhan. You see, when I was in school, I should have had sex education. At least that's what my wife says. She calls me 3-minute mile. Anyway, jokes aside, folks, we did have sex education in school, but sex was separate and education was separate. I failed both. Dr. Harshvardhan subsequently issued a statement clarifying his remarks and added that instead of sex education, yoga should be made compulsory. Why don't they write for us? We need people like this. So in short, what he is saying is that instead of closing your eyes and imagining a pretty girl or a handsome guy, you should visualize Baba Ramdev. Take a look at this picture. Are you feeling sexy? Joining us now is a spokesperson for the Health Ministry, Dr. Harshvardhan. Doctor, about the Union Health Minister's statement now, does he still believe that sex education should be banned in schools?
Yes, you see, sex education is against Indian culture and our ethos.
Right.
In fact, sex itself is against Indian culture and our ethos.
I see. So then how do we produce children in India?
That is a blessing from the Almighty.
Oh, and if I may ask, is that how you were born?
Of course, blessing from the Almighty.
Good. And is this how your father was born?
Blessing from Almighty.
Your grandfather?
Blessing from Almighty.
So in 3 generations, there hasn't been a single normal birth in your family?
What?
Okay. Doctor, did you ever discuss this blessing from the Almighty argument when you were in medical school?
All the time. All the time.
And what were the reactions?
That India indeed is a very blessed country.
Yeah, right. Is that what they taught you in medical school?
I don't understand why you always ask about my medical degree when it comes to all this.
But that's because, sir, you're a doctor and one hopes medical practitioners are a little less conservative and more broad-minded.
I'm sorry, but when I was in medical school, my specializations were not exactly sex related, at least most of them.
Which specializations, doctor?
ENT. Ear had nothing to do with sex. Nose had nothing to do with sex. And throat, well, maybe.
I'm not comfortable. I want to talk about. I'm finding it difficult to believe that a doctor would be against sex education.
See, the union minister has clarified his statement. It is not like he's against sex education. He's against the current form that it is in.
Do you want to expand on that?
What?
Oh, no. I mean, explain, not expand. Explain, please.
Our education system is flawed.
So
if sex education becomes a subject in the classroom, we will have two big problems.
two big problems.
Yes, one, if sex education becomes a subject in the classroom, what would the practicals be like?
Oh, right.
Two, if sex education becomes a subject in the classroom, everyone will run for private tuitions. Bang.
I like
bang.
this guy. He speaks my lingo. Okay, now coming back to Egypt, there has been a landslide of international condemnation for the jailing of 3 Al Jazeera journalists in Egypt last week. Now, the 3 journalists were sentenced for 7 years, or rather 7 years, by an Egyptian court on seemingly trumped-up charges in a trial seen as a politically motivated sham. Now, this is in fact great news for Pakistan, because now Egypt looks like the worst country in the world. Going up. Although there is tremendous world pressure to release the journalist, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, yes, he has Fattah and Sisi in his name, has categorically stated that he does not interfere with the decisions of the judges. He just tells them what to do. The ruling military government in Egypt has attempted to stifle dissent by banning television stations and programs that seem too independent, and has quietly blacklisted all the critics. Now, the question, however, on everybody's mind is, when will Egypt heal herself? Experts say Egypt will heal herself only when the mummy returns. Of course, in India, there's no hope for the mummy to return, not for 10 years at least. Breaking news. Breaking news just in. Reports from Egypt say that there was a 4th journalist who was also arrested. An Indian journalist. Now, apparently, he was arrested with the 3 Al Jazeera journalists, but was just released this morning. So let's go straight to Cairo, where we have this Indian journalist who's joining us live. Sir, are you okay? Are you all right?
Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian.
What are you doing, sir?
I'm doing what is best for any journalist who is in Egypt.
Which is what?
Walk like an Egyptian and talk like an Egyptian.
Walk like an Egyptian.
1 minute, please.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes.
Please, sir, how did you manage to get out of jail?
In my long career as a journalist, I have dealt with all kind of leaderships and politicians.
Is that why you were able to brave the harshness of this Egyptian government?
Egypt is nothing for me. Egypt is nothing.
What do you mean Egypt is nothing, sir?
You have to understand, I have been a leading freelance journalist now for over 30 years.
Okay.
As a senior journalist, I have traveled far and wide in places with far more autocratic and authoritarian leaders.
Oh, so you mean like Kim Jong-il of North Korea?
No.
Then King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia?
No.
Chairman Mao of China?
No.
And who?
Kapil Sibbal, the man who banned Facebook and the whole internet.
What?
Mamta Banerjee, the one who jailed cartoonists.
Right?
And Mayawati, who could not tolerate any criticism, even about her statues.
I see.
So see, I am used to freedom of press being silenced.
But since you seem to have essentially covered India's stories, what were you doing in Egypt in the first place?
As a very senior journalist, I often have to travel to foreign countries.
Really?
All they want is my journalistic integrity. I believe in meaningful news, accurate and separated from opinion, give voice to the voiceless, avoid pandering to lurid curiosity. The pen The pen is a responsible tool in the hands of a journalist.
Oh, good, good. So when in Egypt, did you write about the government or say the Muslim Brotherhood?
No, not at all.
Then why were you arrested?
They arrested me under false charges just I was checking out of my 5-star hotel.
False charges? What false charges?
How was I supposed to know
No what?
that I cannot take the towels, napkins, ashtrays and remote control from the room?
What?
Unfortunately, the table lamp did not fit in my suitcase. It was big.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
But listen, but I've got the shampoo and miniature Vaseline tube and little soaps. You want?
Oh, no, of course not. What would I do with Vaseline tubes? Let's take a break. And remember, folks, coming up after the break, we discuss what's happening in the World Cup 2014 with our very own FIFA. But I want to just remind you as we go into break that we now know the BJP is in government and in power. How? Because summons have come for Sonia and Rahul. Democracy rocks! We take a break and come back. Yes, welcome back and a look at what's happening in the FIFA World Cup 2014. We give you the news that you've already heard before. The United States reached the second round in the FIFA World Cup 2014, much to the joy of American fans. In some unrelated news, the United States also reached the second round in Baghdad. Not such an enthusiastic response there. Also, Luis Suarez departed football's greatest stage in disgrace as he was banned for biting Italy's Giorgio Chiellini. His motto, if you can't beat them, just eat them. We don't have writers, I do what I can. Well, the FIFA World Cup is well underway and you have to hand it to India. What I mean is there is no Indian team in the World Cup. There is no ethnic Indian on any team, and yet India is glued watching the World Cup late at night, early in the morning with literally a mad passion. Have a look.
What a set, stir it up. Come on, man, come on. Come on, boys, you need to earn the silverware. Oh my God, he's dribbling. Look at him dribble, look at him dribble. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, I so love bananas, man. What a banana kick. Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it. Now add a chip to it. Yes, there we go. There we go. Golazo. Don't you just love the Australians, baby? Look at them.
Australians?
Just
Australians are out of the FIFA World Cup?
what FIFA World Cup?
What are you watching?
We're watching MasterChef Australia.
Oh, come on, Australia! Come on! Indians, we are a watching people. We should all work on CCTVs. We like to watch. Okay, it's time for our football expert. And joining us now is our football expert, the one you want to hear, the ever charming and excited Fernando Ignatius Figueira Almeida, or as we know him, FIFA. FIFA.
What, man? Who are you, man?
Who are you?
I'm Junior FIFA, man.
Junior FIFA.
Yeah, you can call me the Durant Cup, man.
Durant Cup. Hey. Who the hell are you?
What's your problem, man?
No, no problem, but where is FIFA?
FIFA? The poor fellow's depressed, man. You ask me what you want to know about football, man.
Ask you. Ask you.
But first, I'll tell you one joke, man.
What joke?
What did Luis Suarez do to Italy?
What did Luis Suarez do to Italy?
He showed them his Suarez canal.
Get this boy out of here now, please.
Wait. I want to ask you one question.
Ask what?
You ever meet my mother?
Your mother. Why?
Because I look more like you than my own father.
Get this boy out of here, please. Please, out. Somebody, Mohit, out, please. Where the hell is FIFA?
Naquela casa de esquina mora a senhora do monte.
FIFA. What happened? You look positively depressed.
What do you want me to do, man? Bloody Portugal is out, man. So bloody sad, bugger. So sad, man.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I blame all the bloody line judges, man.
The line judges?
Yeah, man. The judges must have been from Egypt or something, man.
Egypt. You mean like the judges who convicted the journalists?
Absolutely, man.
Oh, I'm very impressed. You're following the news of the world. So you obviously know about General CC.
CC? I don't know anything about CC, but I know his two brothers, man.
CC's brothers who?
Yeah, CC's brothers. Yeah, and Talk.
Okay. Let's get back to the football.
Yeah, football. And that bloody Ronaldo, what does he think of himself, man?
Meaning?
He slammed home the ball with his left foot in the 80th minute, man.
Yeah, it was his first and unfortunately the last goal of the tournament for him.
Yeah, and I thought he'd show at least 3 bloody goals in the match, man.
3 goals.
Yes, instead of showing 3 goals, he showed 3 bloody hairstyles, man. That too in one match.
Really, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I always notice that kind of thing, man. Huh? I notice.
Yeah, it's a bit sad for Ronaldo in Portugal, my friend.
Why? What has Ronaldo got to do with Portugal, man?
Meaning, he's their star player.
What rubbish you're talking, man. Ronaldo, Portugal, seemed like he was playing for USA, man.
Oh, because okay, so that USA will go through. I get your point. Okay, I'm sorry to change the subject, but you have this bruise on your face. What happened?
This one, no? Arey, this is nothing. You want to see my shoulder? I got one more big one here.
No, don't take your shirt off. Don't.
I'll show you now, I'll show you.
No. Just now, just tell me what happened.
What happened? That bloody Suarez?
Don't tell me he bit you as well.
Yeah, man. He bit me, man. What has happened to this beautiful game, man, Cyrus?
Meaning?
It used to be called football. Now it's called tootball.
Well put, FIFA. Well put. But Suarez actually bit you?
Yeah, man. Exactly like that, Luisa.
Who the hell is Luisa?
Luisa Suarez, man, my ex-girlfriend, Carl Suarez from Canada, his third sister. How she used to bite, man. I tell you, one day I was feeding a churi's pav and she bit off 3 of my fingers, man.
Why do we even have to know this?
These 3 fingers, man, these 3 fingers. That was the end of my sporting career.
You can't play football because you lost 3 fingers?
Not football, man. Carom. I was All India Goa champ. Eh?
Can we get back to Luis Suarez, sir?
Then what I'm talking about? Huh? What I'm talking about? You got years of potatoes. I'm talking about Suarez only, no? Eh?
I'm not the one with the problems. I mean, Luis Suarez, the footballer.
Oh, that bugger. See, I'm very happy he's been banned.
Yes, and he has been banned for 9 international matches, which means he's ruled out for the rest of the World Cup.
They should bloody ban him till the age of 80. Only after he becomes 80, he should be allowed to play.
Suarez should play football when he turns 80. Why?
Because at 80, he won't have any teeth left only, na? Who will he bite, eh?
Can I ask you one main question?
Ask man, bugger, who's stopping you, eh? Ask.
Why did Luis Suarez come and bite of all people? You!
See, it's Ladat.
Ladat.
I met him outside the stadium.
You met Luis Suarez outside the stadium.
Yeah, he looked really sad, sad like teary and all. Huh? So I thought I'd cheer him and cheer his country little bit.
1 minute. So you wanted to cheer him and his country?
Little bit.
Little bit, yeah, so?
So I went up to him and started cheering and shouting.
What?
Suarez, you're a gay. Suarez, you're a gay. Suarez, you're a gay. Bugger bit me, man.
Uruguay. Not you're a gay, Uruguay. I want to bite you. Stop it, you madman. Absolutely nonsense. Thank you so much, FIFA. And folks, that's the end of the show. But as we say bye, I want to tell you, I've just come back from a short holiday to Kenya and Tanzania. What a lovely place. People are very nice. The animals are so nice. In fact, I'm thinking their animals are better behaved than our people. Bye-bye.
वो जैसा हुआ है ना
Come, let's start.
What a set, sir.
You're band-aid here, no?
Yeah. But less now. It was more.